Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time stopping by, my name is Clarabelle, and for those of you that are coming back again to support this channel, thank you for stopping by. I recently just had my anniversary, my wedding anniversary. I've been married for a whole 13 years. How did I do it? It's been God all the way. Thank God. I'm so grateful for how God has brought me and my significant this far. I am super grateful. So I'm just in the spirit of my anniversary, I just decided I was going to talk about the 10 things that I've learned in being in my marriage for 13 years. So if it's something you might be interested in watching, please make sure to keep on watching. So the first thing I've learned in my 13 years of being married, you have to both be intentional about your marriage. It takes two to make it work. It's not a one-way street. Both of you have to make that decision that your marriage must work. Is a choice. When it got to a point in my marriage, I just knew that I just have to make that choice. I have to be very intentional about ensuring that my marriage work. And my husband also made the decision that both of us 100% have to make this marriage work. And it took God's grace. It took our decision and our mindset, a switch in our mindset to ensure that our marriage must work. Is a thing that you have to tell yourself, my marriage must work, and you have to put in the work. And it takes a lot of work. It takes grace. It takes patience, it takes tolerance, it takes a whole level of things to make your relationship work, but it starts from both of you. Okay, but the second thing I've learned in my marriage is that I should never compare my marriage to someone else's. I should never compare my spouse to someone else's. Focus on your own lane. You know, what works for A might not work for B. What works for C might not work for B. You don't stay with them at home. You don't know what they do. You don't know what happens behind closed doors. All you see is somebody coming to you and portraying this so-called love in front of you. You don't know their struggles. And constantly remind God that this man is my husband. This is who I want to be with. Please help me change him. And also work on your character, on ways that you can win your husband's heart. It does not, sometimes it's not sex, it's not food. It's just your ways, your character, the way you talk, the way you humble yourself. These are the things I've learned over being married for 13 years. Not to compare my significant to someone else's, not to compare my marriage, because I don't live with them. I don't know what they do behind closed doors. I should focus on mine. So the third thing I've learned in my 13 years of being married is that love is not enough. Sometimes it's like, oh, I love this man, and you find out that years gone into the marriage, it's not love again. It's just that both of you have found a common ground. Both of you are trying to compromise, tolerate. You hear about marriages, people divorcing, 20, over 20 years of marriage gone down the lane, over 30 years of marriage gone down the lane, and you're wondering in your head, like, I thought they loved each other. There's a thin line between love and hate, and I've realized that over my 13 years of being married, that love is not enough to keep marriage. It takes a dedication, it takes tolerance, it takes a lot of compromise. You have to compromise, you have to tolerate. If you're not ready to do those things, then you're not ready to be married, because honestly, love is not enough. So the next one for me that I've learned, that's the fourth one, is that I've learned not to discuss my marriage with people. Issues will come up in marriage, but you both should learn to figure it out. Okay, learn ways to resolve your marriage. Okay, I know these things it's easier said than done. Sometimes you just want to ease your mind. You want to unburden your mind. There's something going on in your mind. Your husband don't seem to understand what you're saying, so you need a sister or you need a friend to talk to. If you're going to talk to somebody about your marriage, be very intentional, be very careful who you relate your issues with. Okay, because you need to really trust this person. Okay, if you're going through this, if you're going through some things in your marriage, learn who you discuss your marriage to. Some people are just there to listen and to mock you. That's the honest truth. So if you have a friend that is truly worthy of a friend, that would not mislead you, that would tell you the truth, that will encourage you, that you know that when you go to them you get a godly advice, that is not a loose mouth, that is not someone that will just talk and tell everybody about, as soon as you cut the phone, you hang up the phone, after you're done sharing what you're going through, they're picking up the next line to call somebody. Did you know that Claribel and her husband are on it again? Be careful who you share with. If you don't have anybody to share with, I would advise that you go down on your knees and ask God for direction. And I say this because I know that I'm still married, and I know that sometimes if something is not working out, you just need someone to pour out your mind to, but find ways to resolve your marriage. And if I really need to speak to a friend, I know someone I can call. But I've been through that journey in my life where I just know that no, I can't be talking to people about my marriage. I need to figure out ways to resolve issues with my spouse if I still want to be with a person. Another thing I've learned is whenever my husband and I have a conflict, reconciliation should be the end goal. Things will happen, that will bring, misunderstanding in your marriage, but how you handle it is what really matters. My end goal should be reconciliation. How do we reconcile? How do we end this? What can we do to improve on this so we can move on? Instead of trying to do, okay, we're divorcing, we're going, I'm done. That should not be your focus. Your focus should be, how do I resolve this relationship? Especially when you know that you still care about the relationship. So your end result should be reconciliation. It helps a lot. Another thing I've learned is that transparency is key to a very healthy marriage. Okay, both of you need to be very transparent about your finances, about anything and everything. You guys should have an open mind. Okay, that way it builds friendship, it builds trust, and I feel like a marriage without trust is no marriage to me at all. So you need to learn how to find ways to be transparent in your marriage. Be open about your finances. Do not hide your finances. The what makes relationship go sour in the most sense is finance. Honestly, that's one of the biggest deal breaker in every relationship. Both of you need to get to that point in your marriage where transparency is a vital key. It's a must to do in your relationship, because why would you be hiding stuff from your spouse? It doesn't just make sense, especially if it's something that you want. This is something I want for life. Both of you are very intentional, and I use the word intentional all the time because it's an intentional decision to stay married. Okay, this is just my own personal experience, so everything I'm saying here is all about my opinion. If it's something you're against, please let me know down the comment section. Okay, so moving right along, so the next part for me is what I've learned in my 13 years of being married is learn to forgive. Forgive and forgive and forgive and forgive and forgive. You need to learn how to forgive your spouse. You cannot continue to dwell in the past. Honestly, there's some things my husband have done to me in the past. If I'm holding on to those things, honestly, we will not be here today. And of course, there's some things that I might have done to my husband as well, that if he didn't forgive me and let go, we might not be here today. Okay, so you need to learn to forgive your husband. Learn to forgive again, because your spouse is going to hurt you. You're going to hurt each other. You can't escape that. Okay, but building the ability to forgive and forget, okay, would help you guys move forward. Okay, if you don't forgive the past, it will mess up your present. I think I talked about that in one of my videos. You need to learn to forgive, more so in relationship. There's nothing my husband will do to me except he lays his hands on me, except there's a domestic violence. Okay, I would find ways to forgive my husband. He's human and he's the love of my life. I have to find a way to forgive him. So forgiveness is a very, very solid key to practice in relationship. If you don't forgive, and I'm not saying forgive, and in the next 2 years you're bringing up the matter again, that thing you did, don't keep record of wrongs. That's the key word. Don't keep record of wrong. He did this to me, he did that, I'll not forgive him. Look at what you did to me 20 years ago. You're the reason why our life is like this. Find ways to forgive and let go. It just beautifies the relationship. That's the love of your life. Find way to forgive him, tolerate him, forgive and just let go. If I never forgave my husband, I will not be here talking to you guys and glowing. My husband is the best man for me. I am grateful that I still have my husband, my significant in my life, because I had to let go of things, and he has to forgive me as well, because I'm not perfect. Okay, so you need to learn ways to forgive and forgive and forgive. Don't get tired of forgiving. The next thing I've learned in my 13 years of being married is to learn ways to build friendship outside your relationship. Sometimes we're so clingy. There's some people that are very clingy to their spouse. You don't have relationship outside your relationship. Even God wants us to build healthy relationship outside our relationship. To solidify your relationship, you have to let your husband or your significant go have some good time with your friends outside the relationship. It just give room to be missed. Okay, that's the word. I recently was talking to a lady. She's been married now for the past 20 years. Every year she goes out, she goes on a girls trip with her friends. They go on a girls trip and they go have some good time, talk about life, talk about marriages, and it just, when she comes back, that just rejuvenates the relationship. The husband misses her and they have a good time again. So you need to learn ways to build solid relationship outside your marriage. When you're too clingy, it becomes boring. You're all over the person, it becomes really boring. So find ways to build relationship. When I first got married, I struggled with that. I wouldn't like my husband going out on the weekends. Maybe on Saturday he just want to go have, some good time with his friends. I would be so vexed. I want him all to myself. But over time, I realized that the best way is to let your spouses be themselves. Let him go out on the weekends. It's okay. Both of you don't have to be there 24 hours a day. You come back from work, it's the same. Let him have friends outside your relationship. The same thing applies to me. If I want to go out with my friends, my husband don't stop me. He lets me go and have me some good times with my friends. Build healthy relationship outside your significant. Okay, it just helps keep the marriage going. But when you don't allow your husband to go out and have some good time with his friends, and you're both clingy at home, you want him all to yourself, it becomes really frustrating. It becomes really boring. You're tired of seeing the same person all over again. That doesn't mean you don't love each other, okay? Because both of you have spent time every day. So building relationship outside your significance is one way of keeping a very healthy relationship. It just solidifies the relationship to me. Just find ways to build healthy friendship outside your relationship, instead of consistently being clingy with your husband. He has to be with you. Some people don't even have a life outside their husbands. I know that's not a good thing. I've learned, if my husband is going out on Saturday, honey, or you want to go have, yeah, okay, bye, I love you, see you later. And when he comes back, I'm happy that my husband is back to me, but I'm also letting him live his life. And also the same thing applies to me. If I want to go have me some good time with my friends, my husband don't stop me, and I'm so grateful for that. Not every woman have that privilege. I've seen women that their husband will not just let them have friends outside their relationship, and it just is choking. Let people still have relationship outside their significance. Let go of each other sometimes, miss each other sometimes. It just helps solidify the relationship. And finally, one thing is I've learned is to constantly work on my marriage, fight for my marriage, fight for my family. Family is one of the biggest gifts God has given to us, and I'm so grateful to my parents for laying that foundation for us. My parents believe in family, and it's all about family, and they put that in us as well. We are also building our family. Family matters to me a lot. My husband and my children, so I will fight for them. Fight for your marriage, fight for them, pray for them. Keep working on your marriage, and I pray that the Lord will continue to give us the wisdom to build our homes. I've come to the end of this video. If you really like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and also share your own experiences. I would like to know what you've learned so far in your relationship. Share with your friends, and if you've learned one or two things in this video, please share with your friend. Like this video, and if you've not subscribed at this time, please ensure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Until then, I love you guys, and I can't wait to see you guys in my next one. Bye.